Hello, everybody. I'm Lynn Blackwell, your energy coach, and welcome to this week's video. This week I'm working with Emma, and we're talking about how to trust the universe and not figure out how to do everything, because it's not our job to figure out how to do something. We'll leave that up to the universe, and your job is just to take the action steps when opportunities arise. So thanks a lot for watching this week. Thanks. Hi, everybody. It's Lynn Blackwell, your energy coach, and I'm here today with Emma, who is a student, but also recently a certified Reiki practitioner. And today we're here to talk about trust and how to allow the universe to take care of the how, because a lot of people fall in the trap of, oh, they want to do something and they got to figure out all the ways of making that happen, including the how. And a lot of people don't realize it's not our job to figure out how. The universe will do that. And so here we are with Emma today. So welcome, Emma.
Thanks for having me.
So just to recap, you want to tell the viewers about, what you're doing and the choice that you recently made?
Yeah, so last year I was a student on campus the whole year, and I kind of just realized at the end of the year that I wanted to do more, like reach for more and like what I specifically want to like pursue in my future, which is holistic health. So I recently made the decision that I'm going to do school completely online this year and then focus on Reiki and yoga instead.
Perfect. So we've talked a few times before, and you did go to college out of state, on campus, and you've gone that route, and you were a little bit like, oh, what's my major? Because you had a calling for the healing modalities and Reiki and yoga and recently sound bath, and you know that could develop into a business model. And so instead of going to college, getting your degree, which you will, instead of going into the corporate office work, you're going to be an entrepreneur in the healing modalities. And so now is there's no structured layout for that, right?
Yeah.
If you want a corporate job, you go to college, you get your degree, then you go there and you do this. But when you want to go on your own to do something you're passionate about, now all of a sudden you feel like you got to figure it all out. Is that correct?
That is very correct.
And is that causing overwhelm, or can you talk to the viewers about how that's making you feel?
At first it was really overwhelming, but then like I kind of meditated and grounded myself and remembered that like the last time I left, when I moved across the country by myself, I was so supported. So it's kind of like the same thing. Like I'm a little nervous, but I'm also like at the same time really excited. So I know I'm making the right choice because it's just going to open so many opportunities that I didn't have. I'm very excited.
So when you were going to out-of-state college, you were like, I'm going to this other state all by myself. You were very nervous. Even though you had your housing, it was like, and we all told you that you're totally supported, that once you go there, you'll find a group that is also supported, and the love and caring you have now, it just goes with you anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So with going off of the beaten track to be an entrepreneur in your own business, a lot of people think that they have to figure it all out and the how, and that they're completely responsible for the outcome. Well, in a way you are responsible for the outcome, but what a lot of people don't realize is this how is not your job. You just say to the universe, I want to be a Reiki master, a yoga practitioner, possibly a sound bathe professional, and I want to have my own treatment room, either in a spa or in one of the rooms in my home, or have your own office, and you want to see clients, and that's how you want to make your money. That's your vocation. And so what the universe does, when you tell the universe, this is what I want, and you visualize it, you hear how it sounds, right? How does a ding on your phone sound when you get paid by Venmo by a client, right? How does it feel when you're doing the Reiki in your own treatment room that you've decorated? What will your decorations be like? And you might think that that's premature now, like, oh, well, I'm not there yet. But when you think you're there, when you feel you're there, when you hear you're there, And then the universe just simply gives you your next step. So your next step was to get certified in Reiki. Now your next step is to get a few practice clients, and then you'll get some paid clients. And you might have to go to somebody's home with a table that you set up right now because you don't have your own treatment room. But everything will unfold as it should, and then you just take that action step when you're presented with an opportunity. That sound good?
Yes, sounds very good.
Where people get stuck is they get presented with the opportunity and then they say, oh no, I need to have my treatment room. I'm not going to schlep around town with my table and go to somebody's house. Well, then you're telling the universe, well, no, thank you. I'm either all or nothing, right? So just take the steps. And what kind of steps has the universe presented to you so far?
I did get an opportunity. I talked to a chiropractor in the area about renting out a room, and he get back to me, but we'll see, because now I leave in like less than a month. But even if I just started like 1 or 2 people there.
And remember that you can maybe rent it out 1 day a week. You don't have to rent out the whole thing for 7 days a week. He could find somebody else to rent it out for a Wednesday and your Tuesdays and Thursdays or something. So this is another, people think that, it's all or nothing. You can negotiate everything. And if it doesn't, fit with the chiropractor, then some other opportunity will come. The good news is that you pursue the chiropractor. One thing people think is, oh, that's the chiropractor's office. That's professional. That's going to cost too much money. So they shut the door before asking them, hey, I'm just starting out. Can I just do Thursday mornings? Right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, sure. And then the next person, he'll just tell them you could have it, but not Thursday mornings. So it's just going with the flow and not closing doors to opportunities. And then trusting. You want to tell the viewers about trust and how you've been working on that?
It's a very it's easier to do when I'm grounded. So like when I'm outside and connecting with nature, I have this innate sense of I'm connected to everything around me, and everything around me works with each other. So why wouldn't the universe work with me type of idea? So trusting that I'm supported energetically, even if I can't physically see my guides, that they're still there, really helps.
Right. So it's kind of trusting the unseen, right? So there's light beings, you could call them angels, masters, guides, whatever, ancestors. And these light beings are helping you, but we often don't give them a job. Right. So, if you say, I want to be a Reiki master and I want to have my treatment room at the chiropractor's office, then just take the next step. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very proud of you. So have you gotten any challenges, or were there any blockages that you had to overcome? Or do you feel like the universe tested you in some way?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like being at school was very I had to focus on physical reality, I would say, versus my spirituality, which was kind of a hard thing, because in my gap year, I feel like I had so much time to connect with my guides and just be in nature. And then school was the complete opposite. So that was a very big challenge. But once I kind of prioritized everything and understood what really mattered to me, it was way easier to focus on. And also the feeling of oh, I can't do this, I just started, that thing I had to work through a lot and be nope, it doesn't matter, these are your gifts, it's time to embrace them, rather than
so you had that internal voice that, oh, it can't be this easy, I'm young, I'm just starting, I can't just walk right into this, right? And what did you say to yourself? How did you work your way out of that and say, no, that's somebody else's thoughts, that's not really me?
Yeah, I just really sat myself down and understood where they came from, and that those weren't my thoughts, that those were just programs, or maybe even ancestral just patterns that were placed onto me, and that was not me. That's not how I felt.
And a lot of people, it's no fault of our own, but our brains have been programmed by our parents, who then they were programmed by their ancestors. So every one of your ancestors, the programming is there: society, school, government, the news. But you have to make a conscious choice. Okay, I've been pre-programmed because it was unintentional. I didn't know it was happening. But now it's intentional. Now these thoughts I have of not enough, or I can't do that, that's actually not who you are, that's other people. And then when you turn that off, how did you turn that off, or how did you change the channel on that?
I came back into my body. I feel like once I understood that the layers of your body, once I understood that my mental is not my physical, it was really easy to just kind of just snap out of it and be like, nope, not today.
Great. So you can control, and you're young, so you haven't really been, it's not been decade after decade after decade of you having these false beliefs, right? A lot of people have false beliefs and they think they must. I know last time we spoke, it was like you weren't sure what your major would be. And you were really struggling. And here, fast forward 6 months, you didn't need to pick a major because, so what happened with your major and your online schooling? What are you doing with that? How did you make that decision?
I made my decision because I realized holistic health, in the physical universities, the only thing that kind of coincides is nutrition and wellness and how mind, body, spirit affects your health. So I picked a precision nutrition and wellness degree.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, good. So, we'll wrap up. So this session is really about how you don't have to figure out the how. You have to figure out what you want today. It may change next week. You have to be flexible. You don't have to go to college in person. You could do online. And if your college doesn't offer a certification in Reiki, then that's something you go get on the side. And so you just have to trust. I think it's about trust and kind of surrendering the how. But you did take your action steps when they were presented to you, right? You didn't close those opportunities.
No.
And it was a little scary, right?
Oh, yeah. It was very scary. But that's how I knew I needed to do it.
And so why don't you talk about that? You were presented with an opportunity like the chiropractor. That must have been scary, right? That's grown up.
Yeah, I was so intimidated by it. But then I had to remember that I was only scared of it because it was outside of my comfort zone. And that's where I'm trying to be. So I kind of I had to go. I had to ask, I had to. And once I really trusted in myself and my abilities, it kind of just flowed way easier.
Right. And that's a really great point that you touched on, is that you were afraid and kind of intimidated, but you did it anyway. You didn't let that stop you. We're okay, I'm having all these feelings of fear, intimidation. I'm not good enough. Who am I? And you're well, I'm going to make the call anyway and have the discussion. So Good. Very proud of you. Well, thanks again. And thanks to all our viewers this week. And I hope this helped you. And please comment below. We'd love to hear what you have to say about Emma and her journey. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And Emma, are there any parting words to the viewers you'd like to share?
Just go after what you want.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, and have a really great week.